Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. My phone died, and I don't know how many of you guys I can get back. I think there was almost 90 of you guys in here. I don't know how many of you guys I can get back, but I'm waiting for one person. There, hold on. There we go. So that always, when one person pops up, then I know that I'm literally on live. Okay. So I was telling the story of how they're trying to normalize man-boy sex by talking about how good it feels. Okay, even had Oprah co-sign for how good it feels. I mean, we're in a perverted society right now, okay? Because over and over and over again, Wade and James said in the documentary, it felt good. We were in love. We loved him, and he loved us. Okay, weddings. I, Give somebody an inch, they want to take a mile. Give them a rope, they want to be a cowboy. Okay? And then they were talking about buying houses, and they were like a married couple. They were like a married couple that did it all the time. And then Oprah co-signed the feel good. I'm telling you, there might be a bigger agenda where they're trying, is it Mambla? Okay, are they trying to legalize or bring down the age of consent for sex between men and boys? Because without girls, you don't have babies. You see, without it being male, female, you absolutely 1,000,000% they don't have babies. But I saw a news article the other day where they're trying to teach men how to have breast milk. Is there a society that wants men to stop loving women or stop needing women, that is so jealous that we can give babies and we can, have the nutrients to feed babies, that there's people in a scientific lab? Remember the pregnant man? Girls, I'm just telling you. Because the way that they were going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about how it felt good, man-boy sex, is that the agenda? I don't know, but I do know that it's a fact that it was rampant. And Oprah co-signed for it. The audience didn't. The audience of child sex victims, they didn't applaud. Because they like, no, it didn't feel good. It was uncomfortable. I didn't like it. They're traumatized forever. Okay? So they're trying to normalize this stuff. Okay? So we got to be careful. And all right. I'm going to turn my camera around because I want to tell you guys something. Okay? Here you go. Okay? You see these two? Gradstein and Marzano. There's Mr. Gradstein and there's Miss Marzano. They're the people that was Wade and James's first lawyers. Okay? When they dropped out or if they dropped out, I don't know. And they were also a part of Quincy Jones's lawsuit too, when he was suing the estate for copyright infringement and royalties, not copyright infringement, royalties for the Michael Jackson Immortal show and the Michael Jackson 1 show and other things where Quincy Jones was not getting paid what I believed was what he deserved. Okay? Because the contract was real easy. First right of refusal and he gets a percentage, period. And he wasn't getting paid, and I told someone, go ahead and pay him, and it was a lawsuit, and they lost, and they ended up paying Quincy over $9 million. Well, these were the lawyers for Wade Robson, then included James Safechuck, then Quincy Jones. But at the end, somewhere in the process, it was the other lawyers, these other lawyers. I think around 2016, 2015, somewhere in there, these became the new lawyers, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that I was clear that there were two sets of lawyers. Did they work together? I don't know. Was one dropped and the other one not dropped? I don't know. Because here it is right here. Gradstein. This right here is from Daily Michael. DailyMichael.com has some really good legal documents, guys. And that's their signature. And this is on the complaint by James Safechuck that was filed February 27, 2015. It was a part of the lawsuit. Okay. All right. Childhood sexual abuse. All you got to do is just say the words. That's going to become a new job, I think. I think that's going to become, oh, oops, turning around a little bit too good right now. I think that's going to be another job for people to get. Say you were molested by any babysitter. Say you were molested by anybody rich that used to come over your house. And you can get paid. Ooh, you can get paid. And if you're lucky enough that your parents knew rich adults and you hung around them a lot, we can get you paid big money. See, that's why Me Too got to be careful, because there's greedy people out there, there's lying people out there, there's con artists out there, and there's just sickos out there. So forget just because somebody said it, and Corey, you're wrong. And just because they said it doesn't mean it's so. Okay, so you can go back into defending Michael and not be bullied into saying you can't defend Michael anymore because you heard some words coming out of people's mouth with a fancy director that's out to become famous and using Michael as a stepping stone so he can be at the top upper echelon of filmmakers. And I proved to you that because he's in the promo shot with the three of them when it's really Wade and James's story. But the director's right in the middle. She said, give me my props. I want to demand big money for my films now. Okay? You guys, when my documentaries, I'm not on any of the covers. My Michael book, I'm not on any covers. My short film, I'm not on any covers. And I am the writer, the director, the creator, and the producer. Okay? I'm not on any of them. Okay? Because it ain't about me. It's not about me. So whenever you see somebody that wants to be front line and center, know that they got a vested interest. So now you know why all of them are doing it, because there's no other reason to do it except money. Money and notoriety. No other reason. Because they all three think Michael is dead. All three of them. Oh, Oprah said, would you be doing this if Michael was alive? They said the stories would be different. No, it'd be different story. And James said he don't think he would have the courage because he knows he's lying. Because Michael probably has what it takes to prove that both of them are lying. Okay? So, I'm going to move on. Last time I talked about Wade, okay? Because James tells a story, or Wade tells a story. I can't keep which one which. Tells a story that when they were getting ready to leave, Michael was in a corner and he was crying and he was so sad and he didn't want him to leave. He did not want them to leave and he was so sad. Okay, remember how you had to tell stories with corresponding images? They probably couldn't get the rights to this either. Okay, look at that. Look at that. That's a picture Michael drew. Michael was an excellent artist. Excellent artist. Okay? He got it from his father because Joe was an excellent artist. And Michael wrote... Okay? Michael was... I don't know why people are calling me like crazy right now. You know, I'm not that popular. Okay. So, here we go. See this picture? It says, before you judge me, try hard to love me. Look within your heart, then ask, have you seen my childhood, MJ? So I guess they saw this picture and decided they're gonna, because they said Michael was crawled up in a little corner. I don't want you to go, because I'm gonna be all by myself, and I'm gonna be so lonely, and I want you to stay, please. I guess they got that from this picture here, okay? And then Michael would draw pictures also of himself, okay? And he called himself Little MJ. Okay, this is the picture I wanted to show you guys, okay? See, it says Little MJ. Michael drew that picture too, okay? And that's himself, and he's put a little crown on the top of the head, and he drew this in 1985, right? And one day I was having a conversation. The reason why I put up my details here is because I was having a conversation with my buddy, my pal, Peter Michael Bobby, and I was saying, tell me who you are, tell me. This was May 2012. Okay, it was just a few months after he called me, January 15th, 2012. And I said, tell me, and he sent me this drawing. let me know who he is. Little me sent me this drawing, and that's May 19th, 2012. But I digress. Watch Alive 3 if you want to know more about that, okay? And I know some of you guys don't know me and don't know the entire story of how I proved that absolutely nothing checks out that Michael Jackson is dead. Absolutely zero checks out that Michael is dead. Zero checks out, nothing. Even the DA won't confirm the dead body is Michael, and I got a letter from them stating they refused to answer the question, was that Michael's body, and they refused to confirm who wrote alleged victim, alleged date in the Conrad Murray verdict. I'm not the crazy one. The media that refuses to put me on television under any circumstance, because then they got to tell the whole world, yeah, Michael, he got us. He's not dead. We were all fooled. So they won't, right? Because I can convince the world, okay? Because I got all the facts. I got a letter from the DMV. I got the paperwork too. Okay, I got the proof. So watch my Alive trilogy of Michael Jackson documentaries. They're available on Amazon.com. So I'm going to keep going, okay, through my notes, okay, because I have more of them, more notes. Oh, and then they talked about all this sleeping in bed, as if that's a fact. That's not a fact. That's you talking again. Michael had slumber parties. Michael slept on the floor. And if a kid slept in the bed with them, they were like on the bottom of the bed with their own blanket, and he was in his position in his bed because he got his own spot in his bed. And there were other kids around too with slumber parties. And Taj, you got to practice that answer, because you're not quick enough. You're not good enough with that answer when they tell you. When people would ask me, well, why did Michael have sleepovers? Or why was the kid in his bed? I would say, number one, is sleepovers. Number two, you can't judge a book by its cover. Number three, Michael always had somebody in his room. He grew up with 6 brothers who shared a 1 bedroom. Okay? And Michael spent most of his life in hotel rooms, where the only place to sit when he had people come over was on the bed. Okay? So the bed does not represent sex to him. It's just a piece of furniture that when you get ready to go to sleep, you lay in the bed. Okay, even the grandparents, Wade's grandparents, when they came out here, okay, and they were in Michael's hotel room, they slept, or was it, no, Wade's grandparents did come out, but no. The bed story was, I believe, Jimmy's mother, one of their mothers, sat on Michael Jackson's bed in his hotel room. And I think it was Wade's mom, because when Wade won the contest, they got to go and meet Michael in his hotel room. And they sat on his bed, because a bed is just a piece of furniture. Michael had a lot of people that sat on his bed. So you gotta, before you judge, you gotta put yourself in his perspective. You gotta look at the world through his eyes. Okay, through his eyes. So the bed, and him and his brothers had to share beds all the time. Joe couldn't afford a hotel room for each one of them. There was all 5 of the brothers, Jackson 5. There was Papa Joe. There was a drummer and a couple of other boys. Okay, and they were doing the Chitlin circuit. You got to remember, Joe started touring with those boys when Michael was 5, 6 years old. And they didn't get signed to Motown until Michael was 11. So there was 5 years of them trying to make it as kids. And they went up and down the Chitlin circuit. That's the South. They went to the Apollo Theater. They would often go out of town, and they would just be too tired to drive all the way back. So Joe could only afford a hotel room, so they were all up in the bed. No hanky panky, no sex, no nothing. So it's nothing to Michael, okay? All right, Taj, you got to practice that, honey. They stump you a little bit with that one, okay? You got to be quick with the comeback. I was so upset. About this. I woke up with like chest pains, and I don't get that upset, but when I know it's hogwash and I feel like it's racism driven, and I feel like it's an injustice and it's not right and it's not fair and it's, it hurts me. It hurts me, But I'm feeling better now. Yesterday, I didn't do this yesterday because I did a radio interview. And the link is on my Twitter page. And I think the link is also on my Facebook page. It was a good interview, okay? Blog Talk Radio, an hour and a half. Leaving Neverland wants to. Yeah. Leaving Neverland also wants to ignite all the people that believed Michael was guilty in 2005 but had mud on their face. They were molded because they were wrong. I'm going to reignite that word molded. They were molded when Michael was acquitted. It's igniting them to say, see, I told you so. I told you so. I told you. Right? That's what that's about. Okay, so that's why Dan Reed has the house situation, the porno, the alcohol, the buying the house, what else was there? A couple more things. I can't remember them all, but a lot of it came from the 2005 trial. And a lot of the other sick sexual stuff came from Victor Gutierrez's nasty book, and I won't even tell you the name of it because it's so bad. Okay. A lot of people say that we can't separate the artist from the man. Yes, we can, and we did. We separated the artist from the man because that's why we study the man. Let's see. I think I'm getting there. I think I'm getting to the end. Oh gosh, you're all up in my mouth. I'm sorry. Oh, see my fillers, my cap. Oh gosh. As a filmmaker, you prepare. Oh yeah, you prepare for the interviews as a filmmaker, of course. You just say, what do you have corresponding to your words? So you create stories based on the images that you have. Okay. I think the blood in the underwear. Oh Lord, that story. Okay, so since we don't have evidence, I'm glad I didn't quit. Since we don't have evidence, real evidence, we gotta act like there was evidence. And there was evidence, but I don't have it anymore. It was. Okay, let me tell you the it was evidence story. Okay, when Wade was 14, this is what he said. Michael, even though they did finger banging anal stuff, okay, which is so disgusting. It stuff smells when it comes out of there. Okay? It's where your body gets rid of waste. God. I'm gonna calm down, okay? Because I just imagining that with a kid, right? So anyway, when Wade was 14, this is his story. Michael tried to penetrate him anally, okay? He didn't like it. It wasn't successful, and he bled. Okay, this is how graphic this is, and the only reason why I'm graphic is because I have to tell you guys that this is the type of sick stuff that's in this documentary. This is a porno film. And believe me, if this was not already out in the public, in the world where millions of people are looking at it, okay, well, 1.287 million, well, and then 708, but it's airing tonight in the UK. And protests for the UK, all right. They're protesting out there, Channel 4. But anyway, let's get back to the evidence, the fake evidence, okay? And apparently, he bled. Okay, and since Michael couldn't do it and he didn't like it, they stopped. Okay, and they went on, did whatever they're gonna do in their life. Got an emergency phone call from Michael. Tell Wade Michael wants to meet him right away. Yeah, Michael don't contact Wade himself for something this important. No, let's go through my regular channels. Let's involve my secretary and my driver. Okay, let's involve them people. Okay, let's involve everybody else, right? So he asked Wade, where are, the underwear? Go get them and throw them in the trash, burn them, throw them in the trash. So Wade had to go look for the underwear before his mother found him, and he threw them in the trash. Shucks. I almost had evidence. This is the biggest bunch of horse manure. It's all a manipulation, guys. It's all a manipulation. It's all lies. It's all a manipulation to make us feel like it's true. Okay, so that was, oh yeah, and then what was the other fake evidence? The other fake evidence was, oh, the videotape. Okay, even though I don't think I saw that part, the videotape. But there was supposed to be a videotape, but Michael recorded over the videotape. So shucks, we almost had proof. We almost. But he caught it. He caught it and he got rid of the evidence. So there isn't any. So you got to believe what I tell you. So I'm going to give you the appearance of evidence, not really evidence. Okay. These are the tricks that we're being played on. All right. Ramon, Michael's manager, Ramon, she speaks. She came out. She don't know nothing about what's going on because her comment was like, why didn't this come out when in 2 years and 4 years? And why come out now, the 10th anniversary? Girl, don't you know a little bit about the lawsuit? And this is attached to the lawsuit. And Dan Reed said he contacted the lawyer. Or did the lawyer contact Dan Reed? Because they probably looked for directors and found the list of directors that did the pedophile hunters and said, yes, that's somebody, we use him. Because he already knows the subject matter and he's already sensitive to the pedophile story. So he already knows the ins and outs of child sexual abuse. So we're going to use him. But Dan said he called them. Really? Or did they call you? Okay. But Ramon speaks. Let me tell you guys who Ramon is. Ramon was Michael's manager, his spokesperson in the 2005 trial, and that's where I first became aware of Ramon, and she became aware of me. She's a black woman, and she supported Michael, and she was ended up being his manager. And then around 2008, they cut ties. He paid her off. Gave her a check for $400 and something, and it said, that's it, that's all I owe you. Then she gonna find something supposed to be written on the typewriter that said he was gonna give her a percentage of something, and then she sued, and then they got dismissed, and then she got mad at her lawyer for not handling it right, and then she sued her lawyer. It was a big mess, but anyway, she didn't get no more money. Okay, but I know Ramon and I would communicate all the time. You know, Ramon and I probably have hundreds of emails back and forth, right? And because I was just a part of the world. After Michael was announced dead, you know what Ramon told me? She told me every time she sent every one of my emails to Michael. Every one of my emails, she's told me she sent them to Michael. So Michael was very aware of me, even though when you're in the 2005 trial, you feel like you're just a little ant in a mansion, okay, because he's so huge and you're so insignificant, right? At least you feel like that because your image of him is so gigantic, you know. But I did the documentary, and then his father called me. It was first called Behind the Scenes of the Michael Jackson Trial. It's the same documentary as the Trial and Triumph of the King of Pop, except it has different bonus footage, okay? But it's the same documentary. And I remember the first time when I released it as Behind the Scenes of the Michael Jackson Trial, Ramon contacted me and she's like, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. She was mad. I was like, no. Whoop, 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 whoop. I support Michael. I was right. I had told people all throughout the trial the truth, and so that's why my film is good, because I was doing the TV show, and with the TV show, I have the proof of what I was saying, and so it leads to the correct verdict. Okay, so I made a documentary out of it. She was like, oh, okay. So then we became cool after that, okay? And then last time we spoke was when me and Shauna got into it, Shauna Mangatal. But Shauna said her and Michael had sex. And I'm getting comments, well, who else did Michael have sex with? What woman did he have sex with? Well, Teresa Gonzalez said she had sex with Michael, okay, sometime before Thriller came out, okay? And she went to Michael's hotel room when they were with The Wiz. When her and Michael and LaToya were in New York filming The Wiz, she was a part of that. So were a whole bunch of other girls. Okay. So Teresa Gonzalez, Shauna Mangatal, Stephanie Mills, the singer, she said that her and Michael would French kiss all the time. Lisa Marie said her and Michael had sex. Mickey Howard, who lived at Havenhurst, was managed by the father, Joe Jackson, around the time of Thriller, okay, had a son born 1981, April 2nd, 1981, okay. And Michael was singing songs about Billie Jean, and the eyes look just like mine. Oh no, baby ain't mine, but oh no, them eyes real familiar. And then it want to be starting something. If you can't feed the baby, don't have the baby. So why was babies all on Michael's mind? Okay. And then Michael wanted to make up some other excuses for what those songs meant. I'm sorry, baby, the timing. And then Brandon, his name is Brandon Howard, and Michael's brother, which is Marlon's twin, died one day after birth. So, of course, he would attribute, in honor of his long-lost dead brother, right? Deceased brother, Marlon's twin. Because Marlon, nobody else in the family has used the name Brandon. I'm just saying. And Mickey Howard lived at the house at that time, okay? Brandon's supposed father, okay, Augie Johnson, who died a few years ago, he's listed on Michael's Off the Wall album. So we know that we can place Mickey right there at the time, at Havenhurst, to give her access to Michael. And let me tell you, and people say, well, it's Joe's son. Brandon don't look like Joe. Brandon looks like Catherine. With the little gap, Catherine had a little gap in her teeth and the high cheekbones, to where Joe's other love daughter, Giovanni, doesn't look anything like Brandon. I mean, Giovanni looks exactly like Joe. Okay, more so than the Catherine's kids. Okay, Brandon looks like Catherine's side because people are like, well, it's Joe's baby. Catherine didn't allow Giovanni in the house. Brandon was in the house the whole time. Brandon came over for weekends, holidays, all this other stuff. Okay, so did they cover it up? And then Mickey talking about she signed a non-disclosure agreement. Non-disclosure agreement for what? Then they did that little movie on Mickey where they said Augie was the father. Because non-disclosure agreements, they can cost you a whole bunch of money. And we read a confidentiality provision. So did Michael give her $1 million and say, don't ever say nothing? You know what I mean? And the estate got the paperwork and they threatened Mickey Howard? That's what I'm thinking. And then Brandon looks like Michael. Exact lips, exact eyes. Okay? Got Mickey's nose though. Okay? Skinny like Michael and got Michael's exact voice. Sounds like Michael. So how could all that be there? And him not, and then Billie Holiday, Mickey Howard's favorite artist was Billie Holiday. That's where Billie Jean came from, because Quincy Jones talks about how he tried to talk Michael out of naming the song Billie Jean, because he thought that people would get it confused with Billie Jean King and that tennis match, okay? And women's rights and all this other stuff, because that's what Billie Jean King represented. Michael wouldn't change Billie Jean, because he was wink, wink, nodding. So it all matches, okay? And then there's another child in the family that nobody knows where he came from, Dante Williams. I'm just saying, I don't know. I wasn't there. But the woman that took care of him, who is Jermaine and Randy's baby mamas, okay, Alejandra, took on taking care of Dante, and Dante calls her mom, okay? But she's not Dante's mom, biologically, So, and she got to live at Havenhurst for free for 20 years. Why? That's Michael's house. None of the other baby mamas got to live there for free. I'm just saying. Okay? And word is that Joe is the one that brought Dante to the house as a baby. And Dante got to live there. So it ain't Joe's baby, because Catherine wasn't having no other woman's babies living up in her house. Okay, we know that because of Giovanni, how she was, tossed to the side. She wasn't allowed over there. She wasn't allowed to brag of who her brothers and sisters were. They're okay now because Giovanni was at Joe Jackson's memorial, and so was I. So I'm just saying, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just kind of putting together facts. Just saying. People want to say Michael didn't have, heterosexual relationships, and then Michael's porn. All Michael's porn was heterosexual. All of it. Well, there was girl on girl. Okay. But no male homosexual porn. None. Playboy, Hustler, Black Starlets, Plumpers, Penthouse, Pimps Up, Hoes Down. Okay? Those were Michael's films with his fingerprints on them and his DNA on them. No kids' fingerprints were on them. No unknown fingerprints were on them. Okay? So, Michael was a heterosexual, and I learned that in the 2005 trial. Okay? Because I saw his porn and I heard the testimonies. Okay? All right. So, let's see. Let's see. Let's see if I have any more. Why didn't James's mama know about the ring? You got a 10-year-old, right? And he comes home with jewelry, right? You don't find it? You don't clean his room and go through his stuff? Boys are real sloppy, right? The mother never found the jewelry? They forgot to put that in there. The mother never saw the jewelry? That's what I'm saying. Once you start really getting out of ether and getting out of movie magic, then you learn that this is a whole bunch of horse manure. This is not true. And I think that they're going to prove that it's not true. Okay? So if you guys want to, and like I said, I'm speculating about Dante, but I'm just saying. And then I got, some thoughts about Brandy too. Brandy. Okay? I think she's exactly like a Jackson. Soft-spoken, sweet, sound like Janet to me. But I don't know. I'm just speculating. Okay? And I think that it's time for, guys, just, this has just gone too far. And I hope Michael comes back and clears all this up. I really do. Make sure that you're safe first. Have your lawyers look everywhere to make sure that there's nothing, you didn't break any laws. Because I know you didn't break any laws faking your death. There's one thing that I told you about, and I hope you take care of that. Okay? I hope that they make sure that it's safe if he decides to come back, because he has to defend himself. Because if they're using "you can't defame the dead" as their defense, and then they'll find out that he's not dead. And as far as Conrad Murray is concerned, it was the DA that chose to file charges on Conrad Murray. And Conrad Murray told him he didn't do it. He told him over and over and over he didn't do it. Okay? And the DA knew that body wasn't Michael, and we have proof because of the verdict that says alleged victim, alleged date, and the letter that I have for them where they refused to confirm that dead body was Michael's, and they refused to tell me who wrote that verdict form. They said, I'm not answering you. Okay? So Michael, you are safe, honey. You just make sure that you cross all I's, you dot all T's before you come back. But it is time. It is time. It's your legacy that's at stake right now. Now, if you think you're in danger, then don't come back. But if you want to reclaim your legacy as the king of pop, as the greatest entertainer that's ever lived, now is the time. Anyway, guys, nice talking to you, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.